Okay, so I think we can go ahead and get started. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone around the world who has tuned in for this program. My name is Barbara Stoddard. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an Associate Director of Admissions on the international team here at Penn's Undergraduate Admissions Office. Now, it's morning time here in Philadelphia and across the Western Hemisphere, but for some of you, it is afternoon, evening, maybe getting to be pretty late at night. So wherever you are, whatever time it is, I'm delighted that you've joined us for this event. Thank you so much. One benefit, as you know, of a virtual program is that it allows people from all over the world to join together simultaneously. And we have quite a diverse and global audience here today of students registered from 84 countries for this event, coming from Bahrain, the Bahamas, Guatemala, Romania, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, Zimbabwe, and also Kenya, where I used to work as a teacher and college counselor. So it's really fantastic to see such a diverse audience. We're so glad that you're here with us. If you would like to use closed captioning during this program, please click the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And you're also welcome to submit questions in the Q&A box throughout the session. We have Penn staff and students here behind the scenes to type answers to your questions throughout the next hour. And we'll also ask the student panelists to answer some of your questions live on screen later on during the event. If you'd like to learn more about Penn after today's program, the admissions office offers a range of virtual programs, including information sessions and guided virtual tours and workshops. You can register for those by going to the Visit Penn page of our website. And for the next hour, we're going to focus really on the international student experience. So if you have questions specifically about the application process, I would encourage you to register for one of our virtual information sessions that goes into much more detail about how to apply to Penn. And if you have questions about financial aid, I would encourage you to sign up for our virtual program on November 17th that will focus specifically on financial aid for international students. Now, before we proceed to the main event, I'd like to take a moment to give a land acknowledgement. Penn occupies the traditional homelands of the Lanai Lenape. Penn acknowledges this fact and expresses gratitude to the indigenous people of this region, both past and present, for the opportunity to live and learn on Lenape Hokan, the land of the Lenape. Now, just to give you a sense of how we will spend the next hour together, I'm doing our welcome now, and I'll wrap that up shortly. Then I will welcome Dr. Rudie Altamirano on screen. He's the Executive Director of International Student and Scholar Services here at Penn, and he's going to give an overview of ISSS and the resources and support that it provides to our international community on campus. Then we will welcome 4 wonderful international students on screen who will introduce themselves, and they will answer some of the questions that you submitted when you registered for this event. We saw a lot of popular themes come through in the questions that you submitted when you registered. And then we'll also be taking questions from the audience in the chat box or in the Q&A box throughout the event, and we'll also answer some of those live toward the end of the event. So please do feel free to submit your questions throughout the next hour. Now, as I mentioned, we're very fortunate today to be joined by Dr. Rudie Altamirano, the Executive Director of International Student and Scholar Services, as well as Immigration and Integration Services at Penn. And I'm going to invite him on screen to give a presentation about ISSS and our global community, and then he will be moderating our student panel. We're very excited to welcome our 4 student panelists on screen in just a few minutes. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Dr. Rudie Altamirano. Take it away, Rudie.
Thank you, Barbara, and we welcome you to the University of Pennsylvania and the city of Philadelphia. We're very excited to engage with you this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, depending on which area of the world you're coming from. We're very excited because every time we do this, we receive a lot of wonderful engagement from our international students, as well as parents and teachers and counselors. So this will be a very wonderful experience, especially for our 4 students. I would like to introduce you to my office, the International Student Scholar Services. This is the office that you will be joining, or you will be engaging with once you are accepted to a university like the University of Pennsylvania. We will be the one to engage with you to make sure that your transition to Penn is a smooth one, and at the same time to make sure that your travel to the university and to the United States will be a great one for you also. So let me just share with you what is in store for ISSS, or the International Student and Scholar Services. Again, I'm Rudie Altamirano, the director of the office. As you may well know, I was a former international student yourself. I came here to the United States exactly 40 years ago. So basically, maybe times have changed, but I think the challenges and the joys of being international student remains the same. So what is ISSS? Our office mission is to serve Penn's international student community, and it's built upon two pillars. One is the immigration component, and one is the integration component. And we are very, very proud to say that here at Penn, we want to make sure that we provide both eyes. The immigration is the core services of the office, but we also believe as a university and as an office that we need to provide a welcoming climate or experience for international students. The international students coming to our university enriches the landscape of our campus. And of course, you're an additional amazing element in terms of enriching the fabric of the diversity that the campus has to offer. So let's talk about both pillars. Under the immigration component of this office, we want to make sure that you have what you need to enter the United States and to maintain lawful immigration status while in this country. We will help you get your documents that you need to study abroad here in the United States, whether it's an I-20 or a DS-2019. We want to make sure that that is facilitated so that you can apply for that student visa so that it can make you in terms of allaying your worries to make sure that you are able to transition and fly to the United States as soon as possible. Number two, you will be working with us in terms of applying for work authorization. Every international student has that immigration benefit of being able to work in the United States and experience the real world working experience here, whether it's an optional practical training or in-campus employment, or what we call curricular practical training. And the third component of our office is to navigate the immigration landscape and meet legal requirements. I know this is very, very complex. However, we are here to make it simple for you. We are here to support you to navigate that because we want to make sure that you are lawfully you are lawfully compliant here in the United States so that you can be successful as international students. Because if you're not able to do that, you'll not be able to succeed as a student and also succeed academically. So you will be receiving personalized support from an assigned ISS advisor for all immigration related matters. So depending on your birthday, you'll be assigned to a particular advisor. And that is one of our goals, is to make sure that you get quality one-on-one personalized support from us. Next, please. So now we talk about immigration. We are also want to make sure that you are aware of what integration services and programming are available for us to make sure that you thrive and you feel at home here in the United States and in the University of Pennsylvania. We will provide a very comprehensive international student orientation, not just providing immigration workshops or other co-curricular workshops, but to make sure that you're involved and you're engaged, and we will facilitate opportunities for you to make friends and to know more people in the university. Another one that we did, which was, I think we did it 2 weeks ago, is the Intercultural Leadership Program, where both international students, new international students, and new U.S. students, graduate and undergrad, will be selected to be together for 3 days in an off-site campus environment, not at Penn, to be able to engage culturally, to make friendships, to share stories. Another program that we do is Forerunner. We travel to your country to make sure that you are welcome in your home country, to meet with your parents, to meet with you in case that you have questions with us before you travel to the United States. We have done this in Forerunner China in Beijing, Forerunner India in Delhi, and Forerunner Africa. And then we also, right recently, this summer, we went to Dubai for Forerunner MENA. So again, as I've said, a lot of social events, a lot of exchange programs, a lot of workshops and collaborative events with other resource offices that you're familiar with. And finally, at the end of your 4 years, we will be hosting a graduate reception for international students and their families, Penn Global, and then we will award the Penn Global Student Citizenship Award bestowed on the international student who was engaged globally, whether on campus or off campus. Next, please. So we are here serving nearly 6,000 students from over 130 countries. That's a lot for us, but for us, it's like traveling every day as we meet students from all over the world. Next, please. So we want you to connect with us. We are very, very active in the social media, whether Instagram, Facebook, whether Twitter, but we also have your World at Penn, where you will engage virtually and at the same time meet with people from all over the world in a virtual environment before you even come and once you arrive, and of course the in-person events that we are offering to anyone who joins the university. Okay, thank you so much. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now it's my opportunity and it's my honor. Every time we do this, this is one part that I enjoy immensely, is to engage with international students. Some of them I work on a regular basis, and I would like you to meet them because they are the main stars of this show today, this morning. So I would like to introduce them, and then they will talk about themselves in terms of their last name, first and last name, their class year, their undergraduate school, their major concentration, and where they're from. Okay, let's start with Andrea. Go for it, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Rudy. My name is Andrea Esposito Rubio, and I am from Panama City in Panama. I'm really happy to be here. I am a sophomore in the College of Arts and Sciences, and I am majoring in Science, Technology, and Society with a minor in Legal Studies and History.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. How about Mario Ferre? Mario.
Well, hello. Thank you, Rudy. I'm Mario. I am a senior in the School of Engineering. I'm studying mechanical engineering and applied mechanics, and I'm from Italy.
Thank you, Mario. Now, Rina, go for it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rina Nagatani. I am a senior in the College of Arts and Sciences studying neuroscience, minoring in design, and I'm from Nagoya, Japan.
Thank you, Rina. And last but not the least, Max.
Hello, everybody. My name is Max Podlov. I'm a senior in Wharton. I'm studying healthcare management and policy, plus major in OID, which is operation, information, and decisions. And I'm from Ukraine.
Okay, so Max, I would like you to choose the first student that you want me to ask a question.
Let's go with Andrea.
Andrea, you get this question. Why and how and why did you attend Penn?
Oh my goodness, yes, of course. I think like the main reason why I chose to come ultimately to Penn was because of the free range that there is to explore different academic fields. I think this might be true for many of our attendees. Like abroad, universities make you choose like a major or a career path very early on as you enroll into a university with little to no space to actually pursue classes that you might be interested in. And I think that Penn was going to provide me and has provided me with the opportunity to take classes that are outside of my major. When I first came into Penn, I thought I was going to major in molecular biology, but because of the classes I took during my first semester and the people I met, I thought I was going to major in economics, but now I have settled for science, technology, and society. So I think like the opportunity to just take classes in other departments that are outside of your interests is also great. And like as a fun fact, one of the best classes I've taken is actually in the classics department, even though I'm not majoring in classics.
So that's very wonderful, Andrea. The opportunity to take classes beyond your school, it's not limiting, it's very flexible. I think Penn is very good in that. You know, You can attend classes, you can enroll in classes. It doesn't stop you from, staying within your major concentration. That's very good. Andrea, choose the next person.
Yes, Rina.
Rina, answer the same question, please.
All right. Well, I'd actually applied to schools in 3 different countries. So, of course, back home in Japan, the US, and the UK. And the US was just a bit more appealing because of their academic system with, again, like echoing Andrea here, but as well as you can like change your major later on and everything like that. And I really liked exploring other subjects that I couldn't during high school. So that's one point that I wanted to pursue during Penn. And as for why Penn specifically, I think that the school just offered me the most balance as of to academics and extracurriculars. And even like thinking back as a senior, I would say I made the right choice coming here.
So what do you do we'll talk about that. So basically, quickly, without being too specific, what extracurricular do you enjoy aside from academics, Rina?
Yeah, of course. So as for the international community, I'm the undergraduate chair of the International Student Advisory Board. So that's where we help with improving on Penn's current resources and trying to make your student experience something a little bit better. So that's one thing. And then I am also in keynotes a cappella. So that's where I can kind of pursue my music interests. And I'm also on the swim team. So that's kind of continuous from my high school experience.
Wow. So as you can see, Rina is multi-talented, a leader, a swimmer, and a singer. That's amazing. Okay, Rina, choose the next person. We have 2 guys left.
With Maxine.
Max, I have one question for you. What is it like to transition? Remember, you're now a senior when you're a first-year student. What was it like to transition to Penn as an international student? Go back 3 years. How was it for you arriving in this campus and transitioning?
Arriving to Penn was a thrilling experience. I had a lot of, like, I was born and raised in Ukraine, and I was traveling a lot, but still, transitioning is not always easy, but Penn helped me a lot with just, the NSO, ISO, which are new student orientation, international student orientation. It was pretty helpful, like just to get to know campus, get to know Philly, get to know people through such programs. And like later in the years, I started to transition more mentally to American mentality, which might have been a problem for me for a bit at first. But I would say generally it was fun. I would not say it was hard.
So what made it fun, Max? What made it fun? Yep.
Definitely people around me. Penn's community is very open-minded. Penn's community is very friendly. Everyone offered me any kind of help they could have done. Yeah, the programs around the classes and around the first-year students are also very helpful. My English skills were not at their best when I came here, but I got I went through some seminars, I went through some courses, I went through some activities, and it got better. And I think it was very nice experience.
So resources around you, people have made sure that you transition successfully. So Mario, the same question. How was transitioning to Penn when you were a first-year student? I remember you as a first-year student. Now I cannot believe you're a senior now, so go for it.
Sure. I feel like before you go to the US, you're told that you're going to have a culture shock and it's going to be difficult and you're going to have to overcome so many obstacles. But I feel like Penn has since the beginning put a lot of effort and a lot of support into making sure their international students can kind of go to that transition a little bit smooth, like a little bit better. So I remember, again, as Max said, the international student orientation was very helpful. And then with ISSS, there continued to be a lot of activities throughout the year, so where I could meet new people and share our experience and make sure we were supported. So I never got culture shock, and it's been 4 years now. And friends back home cannot believe it, but I think it's part of what makes Penn work, which is a very international community, and everyone's open-minded. Everyone will talk to you. No one is going to be snob and not help you out. And so I think it was better than a lot of my friends at other universities, which might have had a little bit of a worse experience.
Thank you, Mario. So you're right. It's more of the openness of the campus and you as a new student feeling welcome and people talking to you. And I think you also have the personality, Mario, of reaching out, and that helps also. It's a two-way process, being able to reach out and at the same time people reaching out to you. So that's very critical. We go back to Andrea and Rina for the next question. Rina, you alluded to this earlier, but maybe you should explain more closely in terms of activities. Why were you involved in the International Student Advisory Board? Why a cappella? And why swimming? Those are three big events, you know, and you're still in neuroscience. How do you manage that? You know, why did you choose those three? And how are you balancing that? Still remain on top as a great student.
Yeah, good question. I received this a lot. So as for why I chose the International Student Advisory Board, that was, I think, the first student group I joined apart from swimming. So my reason for joining was that I really wanted to give back to the student community, because when I came into Penn, it was the international student community that first welcomed me into Penn. So this was one way that I knew that I was able to give back, and that was the reason for ISAB. And as for keynotes, a cappella, music has always been my interest since high school, middle school. I really love performing on stage, learning new instruments and things like that. And a cappella was just one new thing that I wanted to try out. And yeah, I don't know how I manage my time, but I like to keep myself busy. And as for the swim team, I was just lucky enough for the coach to get me onto the team. So I just continued that from my high school career.
Wonderful. And Andrea, how about you? What activities are you involved in?
Yes, of course. Some of the activities that I'm involved here in campus include Kite and Key, which is the Tour Guide Association. I'm also in the Penn Debate Society. And also I work for the Netter Center. So I guess the reason why I decided to join Penn Debate Society is because I did debate a lot when I was in high school. Essentially, British Parliament. I think I have been debating since 9th grade, probably. So it's something that I really wanted to keep doing here, especially on a college level, like I guess of debate. For Kite and Key, that is something that I have really been enjoying. I think my peer, my peer advisor told me that I had, I had tour energy, I had a tour guide energy, and encouraged me to apply because he was also in the society. He graduated this past May. And I think last semester, because we were trading, I think it was probably like the highlight of my weeks, going to the meetings and getting to know other people and also prospective students when we were doing our mock tours. And lastly, I think the Netter Center, I really wanted to give back to the community of West Philadelphia, especially because Penn is such a big part of it. So what I did for them was one of their sub departments, I guess it's Penn Reads. So I was a literacy mentor for kids in 3rd and 4th grade in Henry Lee Elementary School, sorry. So I would go there twice a week and meet with the kids to practice on the reading skills and helping them with homework. And I think that was just so wholesome watching all the kids run towards me whenever I would get to the school, especially because it usually happened after the school hours. So they would stay in school and me and other kids would go in and help them with their homework and everything else. Yes, I have no idea how I managed my time, if I'm honest. But the Weingarten Center does help a lot, but I think we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, if you happen, so prospective students, if you happen to visit the university, you might see Andrea and she might give you a tour of the campus here. So that's as part of Kite and Key. So Max and Mario, quickly, what activities, just to show how diverse and there's so many offerings here. What activities or if clubs are you part of? Quickly. Max, maybe, and then Mario will be the next one.
Okay, I can start then. I'm involved in many activities actually, and surprisingly for myself even now. I'm involved into club tennis, also varsity curling team. Penn has a curling team, yeah, so I'm the officer this year. I'm also a social chair for fraternity. So I'm also in a Wharton undergraduate consulting club. So, I'm keeping myself busy with those.
Very busy. Wow, impressive. Curling. I didn't know that, Max.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's very surprising
Mario.
for everyone.
Yeah, you guys surprised me. Mario.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like I've throughout the years, I feel like I've joined more of engineering-based clubs because I wanted to get some hands-on experience. So I've joined the Formula student team here at Penn. So we build an electric car every year. Then I've joined a couple of other engineering clubs in robotics and aerospace. Then, of course, no matter where you come from, there's going to be a club of based on your nationality. So I've done, events with, the Penn Italian Club. And now I'm trying to get into salsa dancing. So as strange as it sounds. So I'm going to be doing that this semester.
What's the last one that you mentioned, Mario? What was it?
Salsa dancing.
Salsa dancing. Wow, that's fascinating. This is amazing. As you can see, our Penn students are very, very excited to be part of these activities, but at the same time, they know that they have to balance it with the academics, as because they're here as students first. So I will ask the same question to the four of you. So you cannot repeat the same question, the same answer, right? If you have to think of an office or a resource that has been most helpful to you in the last 3-4 years or 2 years, what office or resources is that, and why is it helpful? So let's start with Andrea, because Andrea is raising her hand. Go for it.
Yes, of course. Like out of the top of my head, what definitely has helped me the most is probably the Weingarten Center. They have so many resources. They have free tutoring. They also have handouts where you can like organize everything from your academic year and all of the assignments that you have to do, to handouts where you can organize your day by the hour. Which I think is great as a person who struggles with time management. They also have so many workshops to help you, like how to study for a certain class, for certain types of exams, how to write papers, how to manage your time. I think that has been really, really, really helpful for me because most of the time I just find myself doing so many things at the same time, like with academic work and extracurriculars, that I just forget how to I don't know, like take care of myself as well. So I think the Weingarten Center has really helped me stay grounded.
So Weingarten, Weingarten will help you, succeed. There's an academic plus A to help you in terms of taking tests, studying habits, those kind of things. Rina, go for it. Without repeating Weingarten, what campus office or resource has been most helpful?
I'd say my academic advisor, if that counts as one. So your academic advisor is someone that you're assigned to as a faculty member when you come into Penn. So they can give you advice on, for example, what you want to major in, for example, and you get to have one-on-one meetings with them, and they'll definitely give you the best advice, and they're tailored to your needs. So this really worked well for me because I wasn't used to the US academic environment, the US classroom, the US curriculum. So my advisor was my first point of contact, and that's how I got to narrow down my major within STEM. Yeah, and then she definitely pushed me towards research whenever I was more comfortable with pursuing that, or sorry. And then, just helping me out with my schedule in general as well, because that was a very interesting experience my freshman year. I definitely kind of overloaded myself. I showed her my schedule and she was like, if I had your schedule, I'm gonna cry. So they'll definitely give you the most direct advice. And yeah, that's the first point of contact I've had with a faculty member.
Academic advisor, great. So every school has will have academic advisors for you to navigate enrollment, registration, classes, of course, even the academic challenges that you can talk about with him or her or them. Okay, Mario, what office or resource has been most helpful?
It might seem a little tricky, but I'm gonna say the ISSS, of course, because ISSS has been very helpful. I've, throughout my, now almost 4 years at Penn, I've done my fair share of internships and work study jobs here on campus. I'm a teaching assistant for 2 classes. I'm a lab assistant for 1. Every summer I do an internship, and you need a lot of documents and you need a lot of support and you need people that kind of know what they're talking about. Also, every year you have to file your taxes, right? I've never, Usually my dad usually does that when I was growing up. I never touched a tax document before, and then I find myself having to file taxes as well. And although again, they may not be experts in the tax code, but ISSS has been very helpful in supporting me throughout my journey, and whatever I wanted to do, right, be it a work experience in California or a lab assistant job in the town building here in the engineering department, they were always there to kind of provide the support and the resources that I need to succeed.
Thank you, Mario. Did you go to California for CPT or internship?
I did last summer. Beautiful weather.
Okay. So you did some curricular practical training. I'm glad that we were able to do that. Max, one officer.
Mario stole my ISSS suggestion, because for me, this the ISSS services were very important and are still important in terms of immigration and in terms of helping with maintaining visa status and all the documents. But I think that very honorable mention is medical services and counseling services, because I was doing dual degree with nursing prior to switching to Wharton.
Really?
And I had to check my health a lot. I had to do immunizations. I had to go through some therapy at some point. And medical services and counseling services were very helpful with that. People were just doing their job pretty well. It gave me all the immunizations they needed. Counseling services also, whenever I had time, when I was just too busy with my things and I wanted to talk to someone, people were always there for me.
That's great. So you have heard the 4 different offices, and also academic advising is another office here. So again, Penn offers a lot of these services. They're here for you. You have to avail them in order for you to succeed. Okay, we'll start again with Mario now. Okay, so because you have always ended Mario, I'll start with Mario. What do you wish you had known before about Penn before you arrived here? What do you wish you had known about Penn that I wish I had known?
A couple of let's start with the lesser one. I guess I like its location a lot, in the sense that you might not hear about this a lot, but as a senior, you realize how good of a city Philadelphia is. It has its ups and downs, of course, but it is a city that whatever you want museum, it has one of the best museums in the country. You want parks, we got parks. You want the downtown, thick urban jungle, you got the thick urban jungle. You want restaurants, you got restaurants. You want activities, to do on the weekends. It has it all, right? So. And yet, being in a big city, Penn is still located, and still, it's in its own oasis. So, there's a lot of green. It's one of the few universities in the country that is also an arboretum, right? So you're really walking through beautiful greenery. So that's the first one, really. And the second one is the connections you can make at Penn, I feel like, are very underestimated. So, we were in a room once, and the professor said, probably one of you, and this was Wharton class, but probably one of you is going to end up being the president of the United States. And, that kind of hit me, in that moment, the people that you can meet from all walks of life and the relationship you'll get even after graduation, the connections that you make are very eye-opening. I've been born and raised, just meeting, Italians all my life. And now here I am, meeting the person born in India that was raised in Singapore, and now goes to school in the US. It's incredible the people you can meet. It was a little
That's wonderful. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, a lot of surprises, right? Okay, who wants to answer the same question? Now I open the floor. Raise your hand, and then if you said, I want to answer that question. You wish you had known, I wish I had known this about Penn. Yes, Max, go for it.
I can go for it. I wish I had known that people are very open here, because I'm coming from the background where people are really unwilling to help to these strangers. And it's also that people are mostly, cold towards strangers, I would say. And here people are very welcoming, people are smiling, people are just genuinely having fun. And, whenever you're around people who have fun, you will apparently also switch from just having, some grimace on your face to having some smile. So I think it drastically changed my perception of life.
That's wonderful. Yeah, yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, Penn especially is very open to meeting new people from all over the world, and that's very exciting. And I'm so excited myself. So for the last question I'll give to Andrea and Rina, what is it like to live in the city of Philadelphia? I know Mario talked about that a little bit, but what about Philly that makes it exciting to be part of, right?
I can go first. Honestly, like personally, I love living in Philadelphia. I was born and raised in Panama City. So I guess I can say I'm a city girl, and I like how close Penn's campus is to Center City. It's literally a subway right away. Even though I had never been to Philadelphia before coming to Penn, like literally the next day, after I got here, I hopped on a lift and went to explore Center City on my own. Sometimes on the weekends, it's like, oh, I don't know, I want to go to Fashion District, and I hop on the subway. So I think it's really great. I also had the blessing to have my freshman roommate be from Philadelphia. So she and her parents made sure that I explored even beyond Center City and beyond like what is, I guess, the bubble of University City and Penn's campus. So I have been to West Philly. Like I even know how to take the train on 30th Street Station to get to her house in Northeast Philly. So I just really have enjoyed meeting or getting to know the different neighborhoods that surround Penn's campus. And yeah, it's been great. I love living in Philadelphia.
That's great. So you have your own local tour guide having a roommate from Philly. Rina, how about you? What do you like about Philadelphia?
Yeah, I have the same opinion with having the downtown center city really close to campus. So it's definitely a very convenient campus. You can get around everywhere. Since I see this in the chat as well, Philly has a really big food scene. So that's what I was super excited about when I came here. If you're willing to make like a 30-minute drive down or something, you can get to a little bit of nature. You can go down to a hiking trail if you want to, running trails, walking trails. And it's very convenient to like visit sightseeing areas. You can walk down 30 minutes to see the Delaware River, and around that area you'll have a lot of historical sites as well.
So food, history, and access, right? Accessibility. Okay, let's pause for a while before I ask the last question. So I'm asking our outside reporters from the chat room, Barbara, Yuhong, and Jackie, and Akosua. If you have questions for our panelists, please raise them. Or myself, if you have a question for myself.
Hi, Rudy. Yes, I have a question from the Q&A.
Okay.
Some of our guests would like to know, how would you describe the social atmosphere at Penn? What do students do for fun?
Okay, I think they alluded to this, but it's called the social ivy for a reason. How's the social environment and what do you do for fun beyond studying? Yeah. Yes, Mario.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot to do, right? A lot of people, they're involved in social clubs in the sense that, as Max, you might like curling. And so he goes curling on the weekends, or disc golf, or tennis, or all that stuff. So there's a lot of activities based on clubs, and it's a great way to meet people that kind of share your passion. And so that's, part of the social aspects as well. Center City has everything you would want and you would need and imagine in terms of social life and that life. So a lot of people go around there, and also a lot of Penn activities that are out there probably every week. I mean, I like watching movies, and so a couple of times a week, my college dorm provides movies and pizza and cookies, for people to watch. So you'll be busy with social activities. You don't have to look far to find something that you like, in all realms of whatever your life, right? We're also very involved in religious services and all sorts of that stuff. So I don't think you'll be in your room without anything to do. I mean, you just have to go out and you'll find something. There are flyers everywhere with all sorts of activities and plays and stuff like that. So yeah.
So that's very, very good. In terms of opportunities are there, you have to just find it and select it. Of course, you're gonna be involved in so many, but just be selective, things that you're interested on, and just enjoy it. I saw in the chat that there's some questions about research opportunities. Have any one of you been involved with a research opportunity with a professor or in your school? Have you, anyone? Anyone? I know a lot of, beyond this panel, we have a lot of opportunities. Last time we have a panelist, same panel here for admission. We have a nursing student from Zimbabwe who was involved, Rwanda. She's from Rwanda, and she was involved working with her professor in the nursing school, doing research, and that really helped her propel herself to a graduate school after she graduated. Now she graduated, she's a senior. She was a senior last year, but now she's doing graduate school in another university. So that's an opportunity. Another question here is, how would you describe, I know some of you live on, how many of you live off campus? Okay, Max, how do you describe the safety and security? Of course, in any city, safety and security is a question, but how do you describe safety and security in the city of Philly?
I would say that Philly is pretty safe in terms of University City and downtown. If you're just not going to some outskirts of the city, it's pretty normal. Like every city, it has some upsides and downsides, but overall, I would not say that I feel unsafe.
I agree with you, Max. It's not just about Philadelphia. Any big city, whether it's Chicago or Rome or Tokyo or Panama City or even Kiev, everything, it's a, as a city, no, you cannot say that, oh, Philadelphia is one of those, but you just have to be street smart in any city of the world, right? And so, but I agree with you, as part of the advisory board of the Division of Public Safety, Philadelphia, the Penn is #1 for Fortune 500 when it comes to the safest campus. All the initiatives to make campus safe, we are #1 for the last 15 years. Okay, any other questions from the chat that I did not answer or I did not ask?
I have another one, Rudy. We've
Yes.
had quite a few questions about how students find internships and jobs, both while they're students and then for the time in the future after graduation. Have any of the students used career services?
Yes. So let's answer the internship piece and how do you utilize career services, another office here in the university. Mario, go for it.
Sure. So career services helps you to build your resume and portfolio, right? So you might have done a resume in your own country. That's not how you want to do your resume, right? The US is very specific, right? I came to Penn with a 5-page resume and they said, yeah, that's 4 extra pages. You just got to condense it down. And they helped me out. They got templates, they got people, they got mentors. I'm still in contact with mentors, that are working in all sorts of industries. And then one of the best, things that Penn has, it's alum network, like it's alumni. So what you're able to do is really any person that graduated from this university in any school, be working or engineering and so on, Penn has their contacts, has their email, has where they're working now. So you can literally just shoot an email to someone who's working at a company that you want to work for. And I feel like more than 50% of the time they'll answer, and that's how you're gonna get your foot in the door in terms of internships and job opportunities. So of all the internships opportunities that I've done, all of them have been through a Penn contact, right? Literally just emailing someone was a connection to Penn or a connection to the engineering school, just talking to them and figuring out, if there are any job opportunities available at their company. So I was very lucky in that. And without it, I think I would have been lost in a sea of applications, because there are very interesting, companies, and a lot of the time, there are thousands of people applying to them. So if you know a person on the inside, that's what's very valuable. So that's my.
That's a good answer, Mario. Any other question? I saw some questions in the chat that popped and then gone. So I think unless I will ask my colleagues to repeat that question or those questions coming from the chat room, go for it. Because I don't catch those. They're very quick while I'm listening to I have to focus my attention to the speaker so that I'm engaging. Any other questions from the chat?
We've had some questions, Rudie, just about the experience of taking classes across the 4 undergraduate schools.
Okay.
How easy is it to do that? Are any of you combining majors and minors or class schedules across the schools? And how do you work that into your schedule?
Okay, so I think some of our panelists alluded to that, taking classes beyond their major. How was it? How was the experience? Is it harder? Do you recommend that? What are the benefits of doing classes beyond your major? Who wants to speak on that particular subject? Max, go for it.
I think I can say some things about it because I was doing dual degree between nursing and Wharton. So it was kind of like cross combined dual degree basically. And I would say it's as long as it's fun for you, it's actually not that hard. And I'm not really familiar with if you can minor in something from the other school. So I think that someone who knows about it can say more. But I would say classes in general are designed that way that you will meet a lot of people from different schools. So it's for certain classes, they're only eligible for like Wharton students or for nursing students. But overall, they're like anyone can be enrolled in anything. So like if someone is interested in marketing and is majoring in, I don't know, anthropology or something like that, they're still able to take those if that's the case.
So you were in healthcare management before, right, Max? That
Yeah,
combination.
I'm currently in healthcare management as well.
Oh,
like
the nursing in Wharton. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's a very competitive. That's amazing. The nursing and Wharton combination. So a lot of our classes here have either nursing and Wharton, like Max. Some of them are doing the engineering and Wharton. So a lot of them are combining. So I think, as Max said, it depends on you as a student, how you balance yourself, how you engage, how you balance studying and extracurricular activities. And you can see from these 4 panelists that they're able to manage that. I know I can attest to you that these 4 students are very busy. They're very engaged, but they're very successful as students. Any other questions? I can allow 2 more or 1 more question from the chat. Anyone else?
Yes, we have a question about Penn traditions. What are your
Okay.
favorite traditions at Penn?
I like that question. Penn traditions, which is part of history. Who wants to talk about a tradition of Penn that you like? That, wow, this is something new to Penn and something new to you. Yeah, go for it. Raise your hand and I'll call on you. Any Penn tradition? Yes, Narina, go for it. Yeah.
As a senior, I feel like I have to say heyday. So heyday is pretty much like an introduction to your final years at Penn. And usually this tradition involves you getting a hat and a cane, and the hat you can bite into, but I guess this year we just
No more biting. No more biting.
Yeah,
On her.
so
Yeah,
signing
because
your
of
hat.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really fun experience. You just get to see your entire class kind of come together on campus.
And Rina, if you may add, maybe you can add also that heyday is for juniors going to seniors, correct? It's the tradition that they're moving from juniors to seniors. Anyone else? Another Penn tradition? I think our participants are looking forward to hearing what you remember the most. Have you watched football games? Did you throw toast in the field? Yes, Mario. Did you experience throwing toast?
Yeah, I was about to say that. They invited me to a football game. It was my first football game in the US. And I don't know what quarter, I don't even know how football works. But at a certain point, people just started throwing toast on the field. And I didn't know what was going on, but then they told me the history of it. And it's one of those Penn traditions, and every year there seems to be something, right? So, and some classes might have traditions, right? So there are some econ classes with some traditions, and every school might have its own, little small, nods to history and to Benjamin Franklin and whatever have you. So there's a lot, and probably every year there's something, and you can get involved, and it's always fun.
Thank you. For some of you from other cultures, because some people might not understand what toast means, it's a bread. It's a toast bread, the square one, and you throw it to the crowd. Part of tradition for hundreds of years. Any other questions before I ask the last question? There's a question here about dining options at Penn. And how's the food on campus and around Philly? Of course, around Philly, no question, amazing food. But dining options, if you're now part of the college house, all of you, I'm sure, experience being in the college houses or our dormitories here, some residence halls. And for some universities, they call it residence halls. How was the experience in the dining? You know, what are dining dollars? Do you buy? Is it a lot? Do you get to choose the food? You know. Yes, Mario, go for it.
I see no one else is answering. So I am a senior, so I've been off the dining plan for about a couple of years. Not because I didn't like it, just because, you know, I wanted to cook for myself. It's one of those things that I like doing, just cooking. But I miss it. I mean, I feel like, you know, you're very busy, right? You're busy all the time. And but the one thing that happens a lot to seniors and, you know, to people who are off the dining plan is that you ask them, so what you eat today? They say, oh, I didn't eat anything. So it's you know, it's good to have always a place to go and eat, right? And, you know, depending on where you go, they can be very good experiences, right? They just opened a new college dorm with, I don't remember the name, but like in New College House West, where they do like this dining experiences where, you know, there's a chef that cooks for you and you're sitting there watching the chef cook. I mean, there are some good experiences. There's also some houses and some organizations that do dinners, which are pretty good. You know, Penn does a lot of those dinners, and they tend to be very good. And if you ask anyone, everyone will have their own preference as to what dining hall is best. I personally prefer English House, which is close to engineering, which is a plus. And they also do some very good homey style, you know, cooking. But it's always good to have. Now I find myself cooking, but every once in a while I would ask, you know, some of my friends for a guest swipe, so to just swipe me in, so I can get my fill of kind of food.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Mario. Now for the last question, I'll give you 1 minute to think about it. I'm going out of script because I love these 4 people are very, I like engaging with these 4 people. So out of script here, I'll ask you, can you describe your Penn experience in 3 words? 3 words. Describe your Penn experience in 3 words. And it's, you know, 3 words to describe it very appropriately or correctly. And when you're ready, raise your hand. I don't want to rush you because I want you to reflect on it. Now that some of you, 3 of you are seniors about to graduate and 1 of you is now a sophomore. But so far, how will you describe it? When you're ready, you can raise your hand. Okay, Andrea, did you raise your hand? Did you raise your hand? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I saw your hand doing it. Okay, I'll count 1 to 15 and then okay, Mario, go for it.
All right, I'll do a life-changing, mind-opening opportunity.
Life-changing,
mind-opening opportunity.
Mind-opening opportunity. Oh, I like that. Life-changing, mind-opening opportunity. You're very good. You mix and match because life-changing and mind-opening is those are 1 words. Okay, Andrea, you're next.
Yes, so I would say culturally diverse, wholesome, and challenging.
Culturally diverse, 1 word, wholesome and challenging. Okay, next one. Max is next.
I would say fun, enriching, and profound.
Fun, enriching, and profound. That's wonderful. And Rina?
I'd say satisfying, integrate. I know that's not like a lot of an adjective, but that. And I'd say friendly.
Satisfying, integrating, and friendly. So you can see from these words, it's a lot to the imagination, but I think all of them are positive experiences. And with that, I would like to thank our panelists, Mario Ferre, Andrea Esposito Rubio, Rina Nagatani, and Maxim Potlov. Thank you for your time. I'm sure the three of you are graduating next year, and I'm very sad. It's a bittersweet for me to be engaged with you in this for this particular panelist, but I'm sure I'll be engaging with you in future reiteration of panels on campus. But for this particular session, this is thank you and wishing you the best. And for Andrea, hopefully we'll see you again in another session of panel for admission. With that, I'll return the floor to Barbara.
Thank you so much, Rudie, and thank you to our 4 panelists. It was wonderful to hear about your experiences at Penn. I always learn something new every time I hear from our students, so this is a lot of fun for me. We really appreciate you being here. And I'd also like to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in for this program to learn about our international community at Penn. We are at the end of our session. It's been a really fun hour, but there are still many other opportunities for you to learn about Penn and to connect with our students and staff if you still have questions. So if you'd like to sign up for future virtual events, please go to the Visit Penn section of our Penn admissions website. As I mentioned earlier, we are hosting a program on November 17th about financial aid for international students, if that is a topic that interests you. And I also welcome you to check out our Penn Admissions YouTube channel. There are recordings there of many of the workshops and webinars that we've hosted in the past, including some specifically about selective admissions for international students. We had some questions about that in the chat, so please feel free to check those out. You'll also find student story videos and application advice videos. There's a lot of content there that could be helpful and of interest to you. And you can also follow us on social media at Previewing Penn on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Now, if you have any follow-up questions, you can feel free to contact either Penn Admissions or ISSS using the information you see here on the screen. And with that, I think we can conclude our event. Again, thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you to Rudie, and thank you to everyone in the audience who joined us for this event. We wish you a great rest of your day. Take care, and thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Have a great day.